Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad, and as you can see I've changed the tyre for the start of week 5 of this summer stretch challenge. This is day 21. This week we're going to be shining a light on St Mungo's and their amazing work around tackling the issues around homelessness. They provide something in the region of about 2,800 beds a night for people who are rough sleeping, which is just phenomenal, and I'll talk some more about them over the course of the week, but let's get started with today's stretch. Right, okay. We're going to start in a standing position. It's a bit soggy this morning, so hopefully I'll not get too wet. I've got my raincoat and brolly over there if I need it. So let's just start by standing. So we're going to rock from side to side, just feeling that connection through all 4 corners of the feet on either side, and then forward and back. Whoop, maybe even toppling a little bit further forward, just rocking onto the balls of the feet and then onto the heels. And really feeling that grounding down, maybe even swaying the hips from side to side there. Just a little bit of a shimmy for the start of Monday morning. Okay, taking the arms down by the side, closing the eyes. And now we've kind of rocked and felt that connection through the ground. We now feel that length through the body all the way from the floor. That gentle lift along the inseam of the legs, knees and thighs lifting up towards the hips. And that space that we've created all across the, all along the front body. Fingers almost touching down towards the floor, reaching down towards the floor, and feeling that length now all the way along the tops of the shoulders, along the sides of the arms. Thumbs just turning away from the centre of the body just to create some more space across the chest as the shoulder blades just knitting towards one another. Chin tucked in ever so slightly towards the chest, length along the back of the neck, along the full length of the spine. And reaching up through the crown of the head towards the ceiling or the sky above you this morning. Nice soft gaze, open the eyes. Let's shoulder roll. So it's forward and up and back and down in one direction and then the other. So there's imaginary circles with the tops of our shoulders, tops of our collarbones, corners of our collarbones, across either side of the room. Okay, fine. Right, now I'm going to move myself back a little bit further. So we're going to imagine that we're reaching up for one of the apples in my apple tree behind me today. So we're going to reach one of those arms up and overhead, and we're going to fold across. So opposite arm down, running along the side of the leg. And just being mindful of what's happening with that hip, that opposite hip. Just making sure that it's kind of reaching back in, just tucking that back in again, and the same with the lower ribs. Changes to the opposite side, inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold across. And really feeling that length all the way along from the fingers, down along the side body, tracing that line all the way down towards the opposite heel. And we'll do once more on either side. Really breathe into that space that we're creating all along the side body. And then the opposite side again. And back down. I'm going to move myself back in again. So clasping my hands now, interlocking the fingers behind my head. I'm just going to turn myself sideways on. You still face forward. Hands round the back of the head. Just take the feet a little bit wider than the hips actually. Just grounding down through the heels. Nice subtle bend in the knees. Inhale and lift up. So look up towards the ceiling, elbows away from the centre of the body. Exhaling down, so taking the head down towards the same height as the hips. Bend in the knees to enable you to do that. Pressing down through the heels again, inhale and lift up. Exhaling back down. 3 more times. And back down. Twice more. Really rounding the spine as you reach down, just allowing that space to be created all along the spine, across the chest as you look up, and then back down again one final time. Back up into a neutral position. Let's just see what I'm going to do next. Let's now take our hands out in front. In fact, we'll do some forward folds. So I'll move ourselves sideways on. So again, feet now hip distance apart. Inhale and lift the arms up and overhead. Exhaling to fold forward. So hinging at the hips, fingers down towards the floor, subtle bend in the knees if you need it. Hands to shins. Exhaling, fold forward, bend in the knees, arms out wide, inhaling, exhaling to center. Twice more, inhale and lift up. Exhaling, fold. Hands to shins on an inhale. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale and lift up. Back to center. We'll do that once more. Inhaling. Really feeling that length that you're creating all the way along the side body. That great big stretch for the side body. Folding forward. And this time we'll keep our knees bent, we'll cross our forearms, hands cupping opposite elbows, and just allowing the upper body now just to sink down towards the floor. And just feeling that space that we're creating, breathing into that space that we're creating all along the back body, and maybe even straightening the knees, straightening the legs out that little bit, just to intensify the stretch along the back of the legs all the way from the heels up towards the hip sockets. Now cascading those fingers back down towards the floor, inhaling, lift up, lifting those arms up and overhead, and exhaling back to center. Now we'll just bend our knees and take our fingers and just tap them either side of the feet, tailbone tucking under, knees bent, arms out in front, so thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling, and maybe even lowering down another inch or so with the hips down towards the heels, which goes as far as feels comfortable for you, particularly across the knees. As we exhale, we press down with the palms, inhale and lift the arms up and overhead, and exhaling, hands back to center. We'll do that twice more. Tapping those fingers down either side of the feet, arms out in front, shoulder height. Inhaling to lengthen, and maybe this time even just slightly pulsing the hips down towards the heels, and just feeling those quadriceps and the thighs just firing up. Next time you exhale, press down with the palms again, driving down through the heels. Inhaling, arms up and overhead, exhaling back to center. Do that once more. Tapping those fingers down either side of the feet, arms out in front, thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Option this time to lift the arms up, the same height as the ears, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling or the sky above you, shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears, and maybe again pulsing those hips down towards the heels. Whoa, that feels strong this morning. If the elbows are bending at all, then just keep lowering those arms back down to a height which feels comfortable to you, or taking them all the way down towards the same height as the shoulders. Next time you exhale, pressing down again, driving down through the heels. Inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, back to the center. Hands now onto the hips. We're going to rock our weight across from side to side of the foot again, as we did at the start of the session. So just feeling that weight distribution, just move from left to right. We're going to bring ourselves back to the center. We're going to press down through the left toes, lifting the left heel. And just again, rocking that weight across towards the right hand side. And just feeling that weight distribution. Now lifting the right heel. Once more on either side. And just finding a fixed point in front of you. Maybe down towards the floor. Just to help support that balance. Okay, next time you lift the left heel, we're going to lift the left knee up. And just holding that for a moment, just testing our balance, driving down again through the right foot, this time the standing foot. And we're going to take the left foot back, left toes pointing forward, and then bending that left knee down towards the floor. And as you can see, I'm just tick-tocking that left foot out. And then just taking the right foot forward. Again, use any support you need under the left knee. And just start lifting the upper body up. So pressing down through the palms across the right knee. Lifting the upper body away from that front thigh, and then sinking it back down again. And then arms out in front, thumbs up towards the ceiling, and then option to lift the arms up and overhead. So feeling that length now from the fingers all the way along the side body, down towards the hips. Hips sinking forward and down towards the floor, and feeling that stretch, particularly along the inside of the left thigh. Exhaling, hands now framing either side of that front foot, and just walking the hands back and rocking onto the back of the right heel. So feeling that stretch now all the way along from the right heel, up towards the right hip socket, and feel free if you need it, just to use some blocks or thick books just to provide a little bit of extra support if you're finding it a struggle for the fingers to reach down towards the floor. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling and just walking those fingers forward as much as you need, just to intensify the stretch along the back of the right leg. And then slowly walking the hands forward, the right foot landing back down again, and just taking that right foot just out towards the side, just a little bit further across, just to provide a little bit more space across the inside of the right thigh, and then bringing the hands to the inside of that right foot. So keep the right knee tucking in alongside the right shoulder, option just to stay here, or walking those fingers out that little bit further, just to allow the upper body just to sink down along the inside of the right thigh, and just intensifying that stretch for the right groin, right inner thigh. Really feel as though the length from the tailbone, from the top of the head reaching forward to the tailbone reaching back. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. And again, using blocks, stick blocks, to provide a bit of extra support under the hands if you need it. Okay, bringing those hands back in again. Heel toeing that right foot back across, framing the hands either side of that front foot, pressing down through the ball of the left foot, rocking backwards and forwards now. Bringing the left foot forward to meet the right. Hands to the shins with a flat back, exhaling to fold forward. Nice and heavy with the upper body down towards the floor. Bending the knees and lifting the hands up onto the hips again and lifting yourself back up into a standing position. Do the same on the left hand side. So we switch the weight distribution across towards the left. Lift the right heel. Nice fixed point ahead, nice soft gaze, just to maintain that balance. Lifting the right knee up towards the upper body. Right foot back. Lowering that right knee down towards the floor. And just again, using any support you need under that right knee. And just bringing that left foot forward to a point at which you feel the stretch between the thighs. Now hands again across that left knee, lifting the upper body up, away from that front thigh, and just sinking back down again. So just making sure that that front knee isn't any further forward than the ankle. Arms out in front, thumbs up towards the ceiling or the sky above, and then fingers reaching up, shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears, length along the side body, all the way from the fingers, down towards the floor, hips nice and heavy, sinking down each time you breathe out. Exhaling, bringing the hands now framing that front foot again, rocking onto the back of the left heel, and again that will intensify the stretch along the back of the left leg, and again use any support you need on this side, and just really hugging those inner thighs in towards one another, just to maintain that hip alignment towards the short side of the mat if you're using one. And again, option to walk the fingers forward, maintaining that length along the spine, intensifying that stretch along the back of the left leg, and a subtle bend in that left knee if you need it, just to ease any discomfort there. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to deepen. And slowly lowering that left foot back down again, walking the hands back forward, heel toeing that left foot out towards the side, hands inside the left foot this time, hugging that left knee in towards the left shoulder. Option to stay here and just deepening the hips down along the inside of the left thigh, or option to walk the fingers out a little bit further forward than the foot, and just allowing the upper body just to sink down along the inside of the left thigh. And just continuing to breathe, so inhaling to lengthen, crown of the head away. Each time you breathe out, just sinking the upper body down. And walking the hands back in again. Heel toeing that left foot back towards the middle. Hands framing either side of that front foot. Pressing down through the ball of the right foot. Rocking backwards and forwards. Front to back, left and right foot. And then bringing the right foot forward to meet the left. Hands to the shins. Exhaling to fold forward. Bending the knees. Arms up and overhead. Reaching those fingers up nice and high. And exhaling back to the centre. Woof. A little bit muddy. Not too bad. Okay, back to a standing position and where we began. Just moving myself back towards the centre again. Now just before we arrive into our final standing position, we'll just take a quick shake out with the body. So let's shake the body out. Just as we finish, just waking ourselves up for the week. And then just allowing ourselves just to settle back down again. Closing the eyes, putting that grounding down through the floor again. Legs lifted up towards the hips. Length along the front body, all the way up towards the shoulders. Fingers reaching down towards the floor. Thumbs turning away from the body. Chin tucked in towards the chest. Length from the crown of the head up towards the ceiling or the sky above. And just one final moment, just bringing attention back to the breath. Just slowing, steadying the breath. And just slowly opening the eyes, nice soft gaze. And there we are. At the end of this morning's session, I hope you've really enjoyed it. 15 minutes, the rain just about held off for the whole session, which is fantastic. So thank you to the weather gods for that. I hope you've enjoyed the session. I'll be wearing this headband all week, unfortunately. particularly for Yoga Mum, who thinks I'm a bit of an embarrassment because of this. But yeah, it's great to kind of raise some awareness for the charities and the important work that they do. So check out a blog that I wrote and published on elderly isolation and loneliness over the weekend, and I'll get one up on homelessness later in the week. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.